In a maximum security environment, physical isolation is absolute. When the steel door clicks shut, the architecture itself takes total control of a human life. At the Metropolitan Correctional Center in New York, that architecture experienced a catastrophic facility-wide failure on the night of August 9, 2019. The resulting death of Jeffrey Epstein generated endless public speculation, but federal investigators bypassed the conspiracies to look strictly at the physical and digital footprint of the prison itself. The Department of Justice Office of the Inspector General produced a definitive forensic record of that night. Their findings dismantle the prison's official logs. We are looking at a cascading collapse of human compliance, administrative policy, and digital infrastructure. The documentation signed by the guards claimed a night of strict scheduled patrols. The physical evidence revealed an empty void of supervision. When a facility prioritizes the illusion of a secure paper trail over actual physical observation, fatal compromises become inevitable. Inside the Special Housing Unit, or SHU, inmates are confined for 23 hours a day. They rely entirely on correctional officers for safety, medical response, and basic operational oversight. To maintain safety, Bureau of Prisons policy mandates rigid redundancies. Guards must physically observe every inmate at least twice an hour and conduct formal institutional counts multiple times per night. On July 23rd, guards found Epstein on his cell floor with an orange cloth around his neck. Medical staff immediately placed him on suicide watch, eventually stepping him down to psychological observation. Upon his release back to the SHU, the psychology department issued a strict facility-wide directive. Epstein required an appropriate cellmate at all times. For 10 days, the facility complied. Then, on the morning of August 9th, the U.S. Marshals routinely transferred his cellmate to another prison. MCC New York supervisors received direct email notifications regarding this transfer, yet no one assigned a replacement. The core psychological safety net was severed. Hours later, staff violated another protocol. They allowed Epstein to place an unrecorded, unmonitored phone call from a private room, bypassing the standard inmate telephone system. By 8 p.m., Epstein was escorted back to the L tier. He was locked into his cell, completely alone. A final physical failure compounded the isolation. Staff neglected to search the cell, leaving behind excessive prison blankets and linens. By nightfall, the protective architecture of the Special Housing Unit had been dismantled. This occurred through a chain of uncorrected administrative negligence. This human failure was driven by a systemic crisis across the Bureau of Prisons, chronic resource attrition, and massive staffing shortages. On August 9th, extreme workloads pushed personnel to their breaking point. One material handler worked 3 consecutive shifts, 24 straight hours. Exhausted, the 2 overnight guards remained stationary at the officer's desk, browsing the internet and dozing off instead of walking the tiers. To cover for this physical absence, the workforce employed a dangerous coping mechanism: falsified documentation. This is a recreation of the official count slip. On it, officers Tova Noel and Michael Thomas signed their names, documenting that physical inspections were completed at 12 a.m., 3 a.m., and 5 a.m. The forms contained blatant mathematical discrepancies. The midnight count slip listed 73 inmates, while the 3 a.m. slip mysteriously dropped to 72, with no recorded transfers. After reviewing the evidence, the Inspector General reached a definitive conclusion: none of these overnight physical checks ever occurred. Severe resource attrition guarantees security failures. It forces exhausted staff to abandon physical safety measures and replace them with a paper illusion. The third systemic collapse occurred within the facility's redundant security camera infrastructure. 11 days prior to the incident, the disk array on the prison's secondary server, DVR2, suffered a total failure. The cameras continued to broadcast live video to the control room, but they wrote absolutely zero data to the hard drives. This schematic illustrates a massive technological blind spot. Half the cameras were affected by the storage failure. Green icons show the few actively recording. Red icons mark those assigned to the failed system, including the lens pointed at Epstein's cell door. This composite image shows the only surviving digital evidence, footage from a single recording camera mounted at the 10th floor south entrance. This diagram maps the exact field of view for the surviving camera, covering the common area and stairs. Tracking the video timeline from 10:40 p.m. to 6:30 a.m., investigators confirmed a critical fact: zero movement occurred. No one entered or exited the cell block. This definitive digital forensic proof of total inactivity irreversibly shatters the signed guard reports claiming hourly physical patrols. The isolated environment verified by the video directly aligns with the medical examiner's autopsy. The physical findings showed injuries entirely consistent with hanging and a complete absence of defensive wounds. The digital footprint dismantled the facility's official narrative. The system's failure left the inmate in total, unmonitored isolation. The investigation exposes a legally sound paper trail, masking a completely broken physical environment. The facility maintained an unbroken chain of operational failures, ignoring a strict medical mandate, failing to clear hazardous linens, skipping mandatory 30-minute rounds, and neglecting crucial server maintenance. If just one of these redundant systems had functioned properly, the event could have been prevented. The OIG's final recommendations bypass individual punishment and focus entirely on sweeping systemic reform to address critical staffing and surveillance deficits. For risk management professionals and public administrators, the implications extend far beyond a single high-profile case. This incident demonstrates the mathematical guarantee of a chronically stressed operational environment. When severe resource deficits normalize the falsification of basic safety protocols, catastrophic institutional failure is guaranteed.